Hi, my name is Gloria Roberts. Today we are looking at the topic microorganisms in action. Objectives of lesson. By the end of the lesson, students should be able to 1. Mention at least 5 beneficial effects of microorganisms. 2. State at least 3 harmful effects of microorganisms. 3. Define the term disease. 4. Mention the 2 types of diseases. And 5. List at least 4 common diseases and their causative microorganisms. Now, in our lesson on microorganisms around us, we define microorganisms as tiny or small organisms that we cannot see with our naked eyes or our eyes unaided, except by using an instrument called microscope. Now, note that the branch of biology that deals with the study of microorganisms is known as microbiology. Now, microorganisms have both beneficial and harmful effects. Now, when you mention the word microorganism, the first thing that comes to the mind of students is microorganisms are harmful. Now, note that not all microorganisms are bad in their actions. Some of them are actually good in our environment or even good in the production of certain products. Now, let's look at some beneficial effects of microorganisms. Over the time, microorganisms have been discovered to be useful in different sectors, such as in nature, or we can say agricultural sector, in industries, and in medicine. So we are going to be looking at the benefits of microorganisms in these sectors one after the other. And so we are starting with nature. Nature talks about our environment. Okay, now the usefulness of microorganisms in our environment include: 1. They help in the decomposition or decaying process of dead plants and animals. When they die, bacteria and certain fungi begin to feed on their dead matters, okay, causing a process known as decomposition. Number 2, they are also useful because they are used to treat sewage into harmless inorganic compounds. Now, sewage are liquid waste from humans, such as feces and urine. Now, these are gathered and thrown or deposited into water bodies, causing water pollution. However, certain bacteria or microbes can be introduced into this sewage to remove the harmful part and make them harmless before they are introduced into these water bodies. Number 3 is that bacteria help to digest cellulose in herbivores. Now, herbivores such as cow, sheep, cattle, goat, and the rest, they feed on grasses. Now, these grasses contain cellulose. They don't have the enzyme that can digest the cellulose, so they depend on certain bacteria that are found inside their body to help them in the digestion of cellulose. Number 4, hydrocarbon bacteria are used to clean oil spill polluted area or water bodies. Now, in our topic on pollution, we talked about water pollution, and one of the pollutants is oil spill. Now, this oil spill can cause suffocation of aquatic organisms. However, there are certain hydrocarbon bacteria that can be introduced into such water bodies, and so they end up eating up the oil or cleaning the water body from this kind of water pollution. All right, next, which is our number 5, is that it is used for making silage for feeding farm animals. What are silage? Silage are actually formed or produced from grasses, which are cut into smaller pieces and exposed to an anaerobic respiration process. This can be done by covering it with polythene bag or putting it in plastic so that we can cut oxygen away from the process. Okay, now at the end, the silage is formed. Now, the silage is actually used to feed farm animals during unfavorable weather, such as dry season. So it's a way of storing food for farm animals. All right, the next point, which is the number 6, is that they help in recycling nutrients in the ecosystem. Now, during decomposition processes, certain nutrients are released into the environment, which can be recycled, such as carbon dioxide, water. Okay, this can go into the carbon cycle, the water cycle, and so recycled. Then next point, which is number 7, is that they are used for making compost for farming. Compost is also known as manure. All right, this helps to improve the fertility of the soil. Then the last point here, which is our number 8, is that they help in fixing nitrogen to root nodules of leguminous plants. Now, this is an image showing root nodules of a legume plant. Now, inside these root nodules, we have what we call nitrogen fixing bacteria. These bacteria, they have the ability to take nitrogen from the atmosphere and fix it into the plant. Now I want to refer you to the lesson on ecological management, where we did a kind of more explanation on the topic, all right, on this nitrogen fixing bacteria thing. All right, let's move to the other aspect, medicine. All right, microorganisms have also been of very great use to us in the area of medicine. Number one is that in man, they synthesize vitamin K and vitamin B12. That means they are used in the production of vitamins. Number two is that bacteria and fungi are widely used in the synthesis of antibiotics. Simply put, you can say microorganisms are used in the what? Production of drugs. The number three is that microbial culture are used to produce enzymes. Now, when some microorganisms are cultured, okay, now they are exposed to certain conditions which can help in producing some enzymes that they carry in their body. These enzymes are then used in our medical sector. Number four is that they are used for making vaccines. Now, vaccines are used to prevent diseases and illnesses. So the vaccine drugs are used for immunization. Then number 5 point is that bacteria are used to produce single cell protein. This single cell protein are actually added to farm feed. Okay, now researches are ongoing to see how this single cell protein can be also introduced into human food. Okay, and the last point is that they are used for making insulin, which can be used to treat certain illnesses such as diabetes. Now the last point we are going to be looking is on the area of industry. Now number one is that microorganisms are used for making cheese, soy sauce and yogurt. Now notice the sour taste in yogurt, soy sauce. These are as a result of what? Microorganisms. Now note, they are not harmful to the human, so don't be afraid. Then number two is that they are used for making jute. Jute can be converted to sack or ropes, so they are used for making sacks and ropes. Number three is that microbes can also be used to improve the flavor and texture of food. A common example is our Gary flakes, known as or cornflakes, known as Gary, in this part of our environment. Now some of them, they have this sour taste. The sour taste as a result of certain microorganisms in the production process, and that process is by fermentation. Now note, they are not harmful to the body. All right, next is number 4. Yeast and other bacteria are used in the brewery industry to ferment carbohydrate or liquid sugar into alcohol. Simply put, we can say that bacteria and certain yeast are also used in making alcohol. Now, don't take alcohol when you know you are not ripe for it. Okay. Then the next point is that they are used for baking bread. Okay, they serve as raising agents in the baking industry. Okay, example is our powder yeast, okay, that are added to dough such as donut, bread and the rest. They cause the bread to rise ×2 or ×3 of their normal size and make them fluffy. All right, the next point here is that they are used for curing tobaccos into cigarettes. So they are used for making cigarettes from tobacco. And the last point here is that microorganisms are used for turning hide and skins into leather. All right, hide and skins are from animals such as cow, goat and the rest. Now these skins of animals can be tanned, okay, with the aid of certain microorganisms into leather. Now these leather are used for making bags, beds, shoes and the rest. So let's look at another aspect, which is the harmful effects of microorganisms. Now this is the word that is common. Now bacteria cause decay and spoilage of food items. You notice you just keep your food and you're expecting I'll go and eat it at maybe like tomorrow, and you get there and it's spoiled. Now this is as a result of certain microorganisms acting on the food. Here is an image showing a decayed apple fruit. All right, now this can also happen to your other food such as rice, beans, yam, bread and so on. Number 2 harmful effect is that materials like wood, paper, clothes, leather and rubber, okay, even metals can be destroyed by microorganisms. All right, and when you take them to the market for people that sell such, you see that they lose their worth, their money worth, and so people will not like to buy them. Even sometimes they even destroy vegetables and the rest. Okay, number 3 here is that they cause different types of diseases. Yeah, we have a whole lot of diseases like cholera, typhoid, malaria. Okay, all these are caused by microorganisms. But note that not all diseases are caused by microorganisms. Now we talked about nutrient deficiency diseases. There are some diseases that are caused because of lack of certain nutrients in the body. So not all diseases are caused by microorganisms. And then number 4 here is that they cause death of organisms. Now here is an image showing the death of a herbivore or a buffalo. All right, probably as a result of disease. Who knows? All right, disease. Now what is disease? A disease is a deviation from the normal well-being or proper functioning of the body of an organism, and not can either be plant or what animal. So the both of them can be diseased, which present itself in marked symptoms or outward visible signs. So disease is a kind of a change or alteration in the normal or proper functioning of the body of an organism. All right, and this can be seen by certain symptoms shown in the body of such an organism or signs. So now it means that there are differences between symptoms and signs. Okay, that is an assignment for you as a student. All right, pathogens are microorganisms that can cause disease. So any microorganism that can cause disease is called what? Pathogen. Take note. Now they include bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoa, and certain nematodes. Now pathogens are therefore usually parasitic, so they are parasites. So let's look at types of diseases. Number 1, we have infectious disease. Number 2, we have non-infectious disease. Okay, so let's talk about them one after the other. The first one is infectious disease. Now these are diseases that can be transmitted or spread from one organism to another. They can be transmitted through air, and so we call such diseases airborne diseases. They can be transmitted through water, we call such waterborne diseases. They can be transmitted through food, we call such foodborne diseases. They can be transmitted through soil, body contact, sexual intercourse, and even through what? Vectors. Now they are also called communicable or contagious diseases, so please take note. Examples are rabies, STIs, measles, tuberculosis, leprosy, and so many more. Now the second type of disease is called non-infectious diseases. These are diseases that cannot be transmitted or spread from one organism to another. They are also called non-communicable or non-contagious diseases. Examples are malaria, diabetes, hypertension, and so on. Someone with such a disease cannot spread it to another. All right, now here are some diseases caused by microorganisms. I'm going to quickly do a summarized way of teaching this. All right, here we are going to be talking about disease, the causative agent, and of course the way by which they are transmitted. But just take your time and study the symptoms and how to control them. Here we have cholera. Now cholera is waterborne disease. Okay, it's caused by an agent or a microorganism known as Vibrio cholerae. All right, it's transmitted from housefly by eating food that is contaminated by the microorganism feces, okay, which serves as a carrier. We have what? Dengue. Okay, dengue is another disease. Okay, dengue virus. Okay, now it is being transmitted by Aedes mosquitoes. All right, measles is caused by measles virus. Okay, and is by contact, all right, through body contact. We have another one here called sleeping sickness or trypanosomiasis. It's kind of transmitted. It's caused by an organism micro known as Trypanosoma brucei. We have other species, so you can as well just say trypanosome. All right, now it is transmitted by what we call tsetse fly. Okay, when tsetse fly bites someone, it transmits the microorganism to the body, and so it brings about the symptoms, and the body can be controlled. So just take time and study the method by which they can be controlled. Okay, others, we have tuberculosis. This is caused by an organism known as Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Okay, now mode of transmission is by cough. When people that have this cough, okay, they can transmit it to other people around them. We have tetanus. Okay, tetanus is transmitted by bacteria in the soil through wound. So when you have wound, you make sure you cover your wound properly and treat them, or you even take the vaccine on tetanus. Okay, it is caused by an organism known as Clostridium tetani. All right, we have typhoid. Typhoid is caused by Salmonella typhi. Salmonella typhi is a form of bacteria. I think it's bacilli. Yeah, bacilli belong to the bacilli group. Okay, this is also transmitted by housefly, contaminated food as well. Then we have malaria. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium species. All right, this is caused from bites from female Anopheles mosquitoes. And the last one here, we have diarrhea. Diarrhea can be caused by what we call Giardia intestinalis. Okay, it's a microorganism, and it is mode of transmission is by contaminated food and stool. That means feces getting into food, water, or the rest. Okay, now take your time, study the symptoms and how they can be controlled. You never can tell, questions can come out from any of this, but your major focus should be on the diseases, the causative organism or agent, and how they are transmitted. All right. Oh, we've come to the end of the class. These are student activities as usual. We have 10 questions for you to attempt. All right, all you need to do is go through the question, answer the question. If there's anyone you cannot attempt, go back to the video, listen to the video, and I believe at the end you'll be able to attempt all. All right. Yes, this is the answer to our student activity. All you need to do is mark yourself now, and I hope you have 100%. That is my wish for you every time. I always want you to understand the lesson and get 100%. However, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to view, share these videos with others through the link, and of course subscribe. Anything you can do to promote this. Above all, my major focus is for you to learn. So I want to thank you for joining me in this class today. Thank you for learning. Have a wonderful time.